Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to your Friday night community race, featuring the Radical Memers flag set, which will be featured in our upcoming event. My name is Edge Dave, and joining me in the booth is Aaron Laura, Restreamer, Bardic Panda, our tracker, and Falgran, my co-commentator. How are you doing, Falgran?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Really excited to see how these runners handle a unique new flag set that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, we've got some. This flag set is going to be featuring something we've never done in a tournament before.
Good old ambidextrous.
We are bringing the wacky flags out. And as such, because Omnidextrous is on, we do have pro shops in this flag set, because otherwise it becomes get underground as quickly as possible and find your hero and robes.
I mean, besides, how fun is it to have? How fun would it be to have Omnidextrous when you're just stuck with, mid-tier stuff at best? We like our power overwhelming here.
That we do. So other things that we feature, we do have pro treasures. We do have K-Trap and vanilla traps on.
That's going to make having a dedicated sweeper in your party very important, especially when you get into some of the trap chests like Sylph Cave, which have handfuls of obnoxious enemies at best.
What, you don't like having 6 Fire 2s cast at you just eating at the clock?
I mean, if I have to take a quick bio break, absolutely. When I'm behind the clock and wondering what my opponents are doing, not so much.
Right. More importantly, I imagine we're going to see a lot of runners going directly to Dwarf Castle to loot, because we know where the traps are, so there's no risk in going there.
Absolutely, and the chance of finding some good starting equipment for your characters is definitely hard to pass up.
Aside from that, we also feature a K Moon with K traps, so LSD traps are in play. That means, Bimmy and Jimmy, they could be hard required.
Everybody loves Bahamut chests, don't they?
Oh yeah. The Red Blue Dragons, the fun fight.
It's one of those, the viewers at home will enjoy this far more than the runners will, I'm sure.
The viewers, the commentators, just everyone who's not actually playing it.
Those are my favorite kinds of seeds, the ones I don't have to run.
It appears we are off.
Let's see who's going to be accompanying one of our kids on their field trip, and it looks like a cane.
Okay. I like a cane start, and Light Potion Star Veil in our random kit. I'm not sure. Is that which kit that is off the top of my head?
Judge Joe is saying Catechit.
Thank you, Joe.
And it looked like it was Pinktail to start, so not a lot of really key items to really get your path going, so looting will probably be the main focus right now.
Yeah, I expect to see. Well, first, guiding ways come on and tell us, yes, we are playing Omnidextrous. And we see 2 runners beelining for Evelyn. Alakazam wants that free key item immediately. It's a good play in Plumeria, wants to check out the waterfall.
I mean, if you end up getting a quick, easy gauntlet through there, I mean, it's not the worst way to get a few early levels.
Bedward, while in bed, literally giving us the shirt off his back.
What a guy. And it looks like in Damsian, I saw a strength ring and an elven bow in the basement. So not a bad start, especially with one of the twins.
Right, that strength ring. Well, strength rings are great on anyone here because generally with Omnidextrous, you're going to have all the attack power, so you want more strength, more multipliers.
More everything.
And Alakazam showing us these pro shops. Not a whole lot going in here.
Nope, just some Hermes and some diet foods in the secret shop in Troya, so not what you want to see for sure.
As Scarcer and Tybalt get finished in Evelyn, we see Plumeria and Alakazam going into Evelyn to do the same.
Arlen are asking what we would have done first and if we would check the Kaipo bed. Personally, like NG and I were saying, I think Evelyn is a good start. There's definitely no harm in peeking the Kaipo bed.
My only problem with peeking the Kaipo bed, you have no other real reason to go there.
Yeah. I mean, with pro shops too, I mean, if you're looking to see what's in the area, I mean, an extra 2 seconds to go see who's taking a needed nap probably wouldn't hurt.
That's true. It would give you some idea of who your characters are in a seed because this is Distinct 7.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the planning process. Even with Omnidextrous on, you still want to see, what you are working with as far as HP, spells learned, stuff of that nature.
We're going to see, Scarcer is going after the doggo.
Not a bad play. A lot of people tend to forget that dog is there. I know that's coming back and bit me a few times in the past.
So I like this play early if you have any sort of defensive gear and an ice weapon of sorts. Ice armor good.
I have to keep reminding myself that yes, I do see Scarcer equipping ice armor in the arm slot. And yes, that is exactly how this flag set works.
Yeah, you don't put things in the attendant slot. No, you wear your armor on your head.
Wearing your pants on your head is indeed very acceptable in this flag set. It looks like Parm is taking a little nap.
Yes, we've just got enough defense that the doggo simply cannot hurt Kane.
Nope, and the double axes make quick work. And let's see what, if anything, is the payoff.
That
might look like a hook.
That's pretty required.
Flame Dog coming through, and it looks like Tybalt is thinking the same thing and making his way to the dog chest as well.
So what do you think, Falgran? You have a hook, you have a Pinktail. Are you thinking immediately turn a Pinktail in, or do a little more clearing first?
I mean, it's a free item, and once again, with Omnidex on, gear is the name of the game. Especially if I haven't checked Silvera shops yet either. I mean, you might as well double up on what you're looking at anyways.
I'll be honest. I would not mind seeing like a Moonveil come out of this.
Moonveil always coming in clutch. Lord Goober pointing out that it is a tier 7 to 8 turn-in. So it is within your best interest, as Scarcer seems to be doing, to go turn that in immediately.
Yeah, I think the only real Zonks out of this are like the Bahamut Orb and the Masamune. And I forgot about that.
Artemis arrows, but not what exactly you would like to see, but I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's also a Zonk. I would rather just have the Goon Spear.
It looked like Alakazam took on Hobbs and found a Edward with some Dark Imps. Unless that was Ordeals.
No, that was Hobbs.
That was Hobbs, as soon as I said it.
Yeah, Plumeria also saw the Eddie and the Imps and reset out of it.
It looks like Plumeria is going to go take a look and see what Fabul has for us.
I think I agree more with the fill out your party play.
And it seems Scarcer agrees with that. It looks like he is taking the Eddie to take on the Dark Imps at Hobbs.
And I think that Eddie is destined to be an anchor.
Scarcer once again agrees with you. It looks like we have a Rubicante paying a visit to Fabul. We're going to turn away at the door, obviously.
I think the Bugs would like having Rubicante around. With how much they rely on kicking, they'd want to know the Super Eddie's fabulous legs.
Yeah, but he likes to show it off, and nobody really likes that kind of person.
That's very fair.
But on the other hand, if you got it, flaunt it.
I'd be taking a good hard look at that Ice Brand if I have an ice weapon on Tybalt's side.
It looks like we have Alakazam also visiting Antlion, which I believe was a Crystal Shield. So not particularly important as far as a key item goes, but hey, with everybody able to equip crystal items, never bad to have in your back pocket.
Hey, remember those Artemis arrows we found? Yeah, we just found something better.
Haha.
The Dragon Whip also hits a dragon weakness and doesn't require you to have a bow in the other hand to use.
And still gives you that lovely, lovely back row damage. It looks like Tybalt is our first person going into Eblin Cave. Loot-wise looks pretty good, and that's Iridia with a blue robe.
That blue robe is interesting. We do have the Football Gauntlet as an objective.
So at best, you get underground. You also have an objective cleared. At worst, you're dealing with the Water Hag.
Oh no, worst case, it's the freest fights you can find there.
I know. I'm sure Tybalt is really shaking in his boots. And that looks like a CPU at the first Ordeal spot.
Yeah. So, from the people I've been talking about this flag set, Ordeals is a contentious check. It's 3 bosses, 1 key item check, and Paladin Cecil's not as valuable here just because anyone can swing a holy weapon.
It is, and on top of the fact that going into that third boss, you have to sit through a reasonably lengthy cutscene. Cecil getting his power up, and then after the boss, learning that Tella remembered all of his spells. So I can see where taking Ordeals might not be as popular as some of the other options. Alright, looks like we have Plumera looking to take out this antlion in short order. Alternatively, it looks like Alakazam found a Bahamut, I'm going to assume at the Baron Inn.
Yep, that is a Baron Inn. Alakazam wants characters.
Which, like we said before, is definitely the way to go. And countering those Mega Nukes with ease.
Although it is just a dupe Porum there.
And a Luca key. So, could potentially be something, but right now, definitely not what Alakazam is looking for, I'm sure. So it is looking like Flame Dog is really the path forward for our runners. Just going to be a matter of who remembers that it's up there, besides the two that have gotten it so far.
Yep. And this is Force Hook. So that hook is your way underground. And so, Mount Ordeals today, just a camping supply store.
Well, I mean, it's very nice of them to give you accommodation after you hike all the way up.
Exactly. I think you're going to see what Scarcer and Tybalt did happen a lot as this tournament goes on, where you check the Edward, and while you're in the area, you go check the dog.
I mean, as we are seeing now, it's definitely a move that has potential to pay off for runners. And again, like it's not a chest you think of very often unless you're going through the Tower of Zot.
This is the most interesting part of a tournament flag set, where we're seeing right now. Real early, everything's still shaking out. We get to see lots of different strategies in action.
I mean, I find it interesting that outside of the early Eblin Castle plays that a few of our runners did, everybody has seemed to be really taking a different path. They're hitting the same points, but how they're getting there has been pretty consistently different. I say as Scarcer and Plumera are hitting Baron Inn at the same time.
And I mean, there's only so many things you can do in the overworld.
That's very true, and I don't think Scarcer has gone into Eblin Cave yet to see that Rubicante is relatively not as scary as it could be.
Shoutouts to the Porum on Alakazam's side, surviving at 1 HP.
Hey, last HP is the one that counts.
Exactly.
Alakazam is through and is going to be very happy with what he's about to find. Pinktail was Artemis Arrows.
Which feels kind of bad when you realize if you do Fabul, you get a Dragon Whip.
Alright, and it looks like Plumera is the last of our runners going up to check on that Flame Dog.
Our runners have been fairly thorough so far in clearing of the overworld. I believe the only things we haven't seen are the Evelyn traps and Evelyn Cave itself, of course.
It looked like Tybalt had taken a shot at the ogres at least, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what he got out of it. Our wonderful tracker, Bardic Panda, saying it was just an item. Alright, we have Scarcer making his own climb up of Ordeals. Gotta get that camping equipment while you can. Only 1,000 in stock.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a Blizzard Spear on just sitting in the cave. I guess that means the Ice Brand is slightly less valuable.
That's usually how it goes. You see it and you're like, oh sweet, finally get it, and then next chest you open is guaranteed to be something slightly better. But the good news is if we need somebody else to double up on the ice damage, at least you have both now. So now with all your checks on the Earth, or on the planet being finished up, do you immediately go to dive Evelyn Tower, or do you try to get a couple levels in the trap chest in Evelyn Castle first?
I'm partial to clearing out Evelyn traps immediately, or right before going underground, because getting Berserk and Blink on Porum is very, very helpful.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that. At least hit the Mad Ogres. Get that. I mean, at this point, all the runners have enough items to make their way through. Yeah. And as Arlenor points out, it is also K-Trap, so It's within your interest.
That's what I was going to point out. You could, find the tower key. You could find the pan in there. And there were things that you would really want to have before going underground.
But Engie, don't we all love doing a double dive on the tower?
Oh, nothing like it. Nothing like doing a double dive on both the tower and Sylph, because you went Sylph first and then found Pan inside the tower.
I really wish I could say I have never done that, but that would be a lie.
Yeah, I was being a little specific for a reason. Yeah, and I'll point out you could find the Earth Crystal too, which would be an objective plus more characters.
I mean, it's definitely would be worth a look. As much as we all, as a community, love Edward, with this flag set, you can use somebody who could use some of the equipment to a better level than him.
It looks like Scarcer setting up to take the castle, because that's a shield on the White Mage. And Flame Whip Poison Axe on Kane, that's a Staleman Skull. That's going to give you effective damage against everything in the Staleman Skull fight.
There you go. If you can't sweep in one go, make sure you're killing them in one hit at least. Or as close to it as you possibly can get.
Alakazam going after the Staleman first.
I mean, not a bad play. That Kane is definitely putting in the work. Just a matter of hopefully getting that Rydia up to get a few levels before finishing the fight, and it looks like he will be able to do that.
Yeah, Poison Axe, effective versus Giants, which the Stalemen are.
And Scarcer going quickly to work against the Stalemen and the Skulls. And an X-Cal from the Staleman chest on Alakazam and Plumera's side. I mean, in this flag set, Definitely not mad about that.
No, it's still a big holy stick with plus 10 strength. I am perfectly happy with that.
And we haven't seen any Milans or any bosses that you can just show it to them and they can melt.
And we'll see what's in the Stalemate Skull Chest. We have
Dragoon
more.
Land.
Those other arrows are looking worse and worse as this scene goes on.
At least you know at this point that if you have to do Bimmy and Jimmy, it won't be nearly as bad. And it looks like Alakazam is going to be our first runner to take a shot at the hook route. We're going to check the Mad Ogre chest in there first.
And with the XP from this and Kane swinging a shiny stick, well, Kane, we need you up, buddy.
I mean, in Dragoon fashion, he's taking a little bit of a nap. But yeah, no, he should have more than enough power after this, to, especially with whatever that blue robe ends up being. Should be able to make it through relatively no issue.
As Chad is pointing out, the back row glitch is on, and would not be a bad idea to have Kane chilling in the back row. You can just use that Flame Whip, Dragon Whip, back row.
Really anything. That's the beauty of this. You have so many options to back row a character now that doesn't require going through the steps of doing a bow and arrow. Especially with characters like Kane, who are so limited normally in what their equipment could be.
I was just picking the first two that I thought of that actually that I've seen.
All right, Alakazam making his way slowly but surely through this trap chest, keeping all of his characters up.
I'm not sure if Radiant knows it yet, but the stop spell does work on these ogres.
Yeah, that would definitely make that much, much easier, especially with the damage that Kane is taking. But hopefully, Alakazam can just get that last turn in before... never mind.
Now, Scarcer did get the Sand Ruby from Evelyn Castle. We're going to see who's at the Sand Ruby.
And that is a...
That is a mop. Get in the party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Scarcer is definitely going to have a much easier time with the hook route now.
And Alakazam getting through those Mad Ogres.
And you just learned Stop too. Oh, Adamant.
That's half a Forge. Forge is an objective in these flag sets. Also, we have Super Smiths, so hopefully we find the Legend Sword and we can see what kind of amazing weaponry Kolkol's making for us today.
Well, and once again, nice thing is, as Jabern saying, get in the car, we're going underground to the mop. Scarcer definitely going to be checking some bosses now.
I would not be surprised to see Scarcer taking or just quickly killing these fights just to get spells on the mop.
That was my question. I'd say, now that you have a food, do you try to get more spells before you go down there? I mean, depending on what it starts with.
I would want Quake just to be able to clear traps.
Yeah, Quake definitely would help for sure. It looks like Scarcer's going to do just that. Easily taking down that Elements fight in the Demus spot. Man,
that's Nuke. That's 1200 nuke. Where is that in the foo? Where is that in my foos?
Right? That's not a last location, nuke. What's going on here? Scarcer obviously very happy with that guess. With that get, immediately barreling towards the hook route.
Oh, because damn, in the hook route finds a Dark Elf leading this off. One of the safer fights at the first spot.
I was gonna say, they're, even for being a quote-unquote relatively free spot, you can get some stuff in there that have some nasty surprises.
Ah. We have a light sword. I would want to be Zerk. I would want to Zerk that cane up, and second phase never gets to swing.
Yeah, that's very true. One of the few enemies that has a. Oh no, never mind. I was looking at something else and talking. But yeah, no, Dark Elf going to be done and over with here shortly, from the looks of it. Lumera also getting the Sand Ruby and is going to be very, very happy with who's taking that nap. Going to get his foo. I would imagine. Whoa, that's a gauntlet.
Yep. That is a Lamia and an egg. Fortunately, you only need to deal 1200-ish to drop the first fight.
Yeah, definitely one of the easier eggs you can get. Still not the best thing you want to see. Not even for anything outside of. It's going to take a little while, especially with this party setup right now, where most of your damage is coming from that cane.
I like that first fight because it also gives you a prime opportunity to knock your anchor down.
I mean, Edward was looking a little tired there. They told Alakazam told him to take the fight off. Edward took the advice.
Oh, the Mad Ogre's chest, I believe, was an Avenger, given that we see Scarcer just turning loose the Dragoon.
I mean, at this point, especially now that he has that Excalibur, definitely going to be pulling his weight considerably. Jayburn putting out, Alakazam was learning the hard way about the Blade Man counters in the Gauntlet fight. And it looks like on our left side that Scarcer and Plumera are going to start making their way down towards the hook route as well.
Both of them having cleared the entire overworld, including Ordeals for both of them. I think Alakazam's the only one that faded it.
And that's definitely going to pay off for Plumera and Scarcer having that extra damage from the Foo, especially in the longer Gauntlet fight for sure.
Fun little fact what makes these come up here, the sorcerers don't summon Blade Men in this fight.
That is a fun fact. Well, Scarcer trying to hit that stone, not in the middle spot. You never a bad thing to take a swing like that, especially on the last enemy.
As you see, that sorcerer pulls out a green dragon.
I mean, once your front line's gone, that's a very natural response. When I'm startled, I also pull out dragons. And Plumera and Scarcer are essentially neck and neck heading down into the hook bosses.
I believe both of them just are letting Kane make angry Kane noises.
I mean, that's a very effective Kane. When you don't have to, if you basically set him and forget him, you can worry about everything else. You keeping your party alive, making sure Fu is throwing out the appropriate spells. It's just a win-win.
I appreciate Scarcer's Fusoye gear. We got wearing a black shirt normally, wrapping a black shirt around his hands to use as gloves, and a black shirt on his head.
I mean, the one on the head is especially important because that's where you get all the magic power. And Scarce are running into another green dragon.
And we're seeing on the left side just how powerful that Avenger is. You don't need to take an action. You can just go into fights, set the controller down, and let Kane do Kane things.
Yep. Get up, stretch a little bit. You know, even the eggs just melt. Alakazam is through the gauntlet and is in the underground.
Alex, we're going to be our first runner down underground. Unfortunately, still can't avoid the pitfall. And do I sense some comedy in our runner's future?
Oh, I sure hope so. Oh boy.
I believe that's the top of the tower Golbez. So there is something you can do to set up if you're going to head up there quickly.
You know, the nice thing about that food that we have is turn yourself into a pig.
I wouldn't mind taking the trap test on the way up. You know, the 4 alerts because K-trap. And on the 4th fight, KOing all but 2 of your characters.
That is also another great way to do it. And that way you avoid all the inconvenience of Shadow picking off characters that you kind of want alive in that fight. Because that wonderful Shadow Dragon always seems to know exactly who you're planning on using the most. And making sure he specifically gets them. And Plumera is through the gauntlet as well. The food definitely making that a much easier and faster fight, or set of fights. And it looks like Tybalt has now found his Fu, and getting him all set up. I'm certain we're going to see him begin to dive down the hook route shortly as well.
And on Alakazam's side, we are going to see the Warrior's chest.
That's going to be an interesting move, especially without somebody who can deal a large amount of damage to a wide variety of enemies. These warriors have a wonderful habit of hitting hard.
As we are seeing.
Yeah, Alakazam taking the reset. Probably going to avoid that chest and probably go see what the Fey March has in store for us. But yeah, as Jaybird is pointing out again, back rowing that cane would definitely be very beneficial to Alakazam.
So Alakazam really needs a sweeper to just start clearing these out, because, as you're saying, those warriors hit hard.
Ooh, we see a D-miss in the first Dwarf Castle spot. But Plumera has nuke, and we're going to see how that goes.
It turns out you can put mist in a microwave.
Yeah, pretty quickly evaporated that. Tipple starting his ascent down the hook route. And let's see who our next boss is going to be.
The flavor of Mylon. And so Yang in this flag set.
Poor Yang. Probably the only character in this entire flag set who does not benefit at all from being able to equip all the weapons.
Yeah, even though we could put any weapons on anything, Yang still keeps his damage formula, which is based entirely off of his level.
And it's hard when you want to go fast in the seed like this. You're not going to really want to dedicate the time to get the levels when you could just slap an Excalibur and an Avenger on a cane and have him do 4k damage without much prep.
But that Dwarf Castle paying off.
Oh, in spades. The fun thing about our wonderful Radical Memer set, it is Force Hook. However, Magma Key is an objective.
Right, so you still have to track down that Magma Key at some point.
Alakazam being the runner of the people. Looked like it was his utility manager or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't catch it myself. I think I saw bandanas for sale in that shop. I would be tempted to buy a few, so you can wear bandanas everywhere.
Absolutely. Increasing attack power, always a good thing. Being able to equip more than one works wonders.
And all our runners will know they don't need to check what the bosses are down in the Fey March, because we are only on a single boss hunt, and you're finding it before you get to the march.
We see Plumera heading back up Hobbs, picking up the Eddy that he had previously passed on.
Wow, the disrespect to Yang. Our runners would rather have an Eddy instead.
I mean, Edward, at least in this flag set, makes a very good anchor. And in the pinch, he can equip the weapons and benefit from them.
Hey, practices I've run, I've let a Excalibur wielding Edward loose. He does literally thousands of damage.
He is. He has the potential to be a lawnmower of sorts. If you can get past the abysmal HP and defense, especially lower levels, if an enemy even looks at him funny, he'll crumble. Then again, Omnidex makes it much easier. We see Alakazam going into his Dwarf Castle check on his way to find his Magma Key as well, and it looks like Scarcer is on his way to the second fight.
All three runners heading most of the same underground checks.
I mean, never a bad idea. It's two decently easy or decently manageable bosses, especially for our two runners that have a Fusuya with Nuke.
And I don't mind doing that, especially if you don't have Quake yet on food. Because getting Quake would allow you to, well, start clearing traps easier.
Yeah, that basically opens up the entirety of Sylph Cave, Warrior's Chest, like we had talked about before. And it looks like Plumera is turning his battle speed down, putting his Fu, I believe it looked like it was in the middle spot for the added accuracy.
Are we looking for a stone cast?
Oh, no, I was
Fu's
wrong.
not center.
Looks like we're going to go take on the Warrior Chest. The Fu will certainly make that much, much easier. Even without Quake, he still has a considerable litany of spells at his disposal.
And Scarcer's heading up lower battle. I'm a fan of this play on K-Trap. You have 4 very easy trap chests.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the power that our runners are packing now, these things should be going down in one hit easy without being able to summon anything.
And as I mentioned earlier, we'll see if Scarcer decides on one of these to knock down a few of these characters.
And it looks like Tibble is thinking the same thing now that he is underground, immediately going and hitting up those trap chests.
Between the power of Berserk and Fusoya's AoE, Plumeria is going to be through these warriors.
And he's through. Let's see what it has in store for us. That was a white spear, I think.
It was. Fortunately, in lower battle, it's also very easy to remember which 4 rooms have the traps in them. It's the 4 rooms with the traps just in the 4 rooms, kind of on their own.
Yeah, definitely on the way to much easier to do than, say, Sylph Cave, where you're going relatively out of the way.
Also, this is no longer a keyless tower play.
Gotta love the K-Trap tower key grab. There's our water hag. Probably the spot you want to see him the least.
Yeah, K just did enough damage to end this fight 9 times over.
But unfortunately, gotta hit him 2 more times. Or Anna giving a pep talk to a sleeping Edward. I'm sure if he was awake to hear this, he would very much appreciate the kind words.
Eddie's there like, I just had the most wonderful dream.
It looks like Tibble is taking out his 3 characters. And probably planning on going to take on that Golbez.
And that's exactly what I was hoping to see our runners do. Now you know exactly who's going to be alive once Shadow's done having a snack. Well, failing to have a snack.
And especially with the two characters being your Kane and your Fu. Basically just going to be a rude surprise to Golbez once it's all said and done. All right, Plumera through his trap chest. Gonna make his way. Well, I don't know if he hasn't set up yet or if he didn't see the Golbez being at the top, but he's gonna hit the cannon first.
Might use this fight to set up.
Garster being our first runner to go take on the Golbez. Garster going above and beyond, having characters who are piggied and who are minied. Not going to avoid the Shadow Dragon snipe, but at least you're not going to be paralyzed.
Right, so if Shadow doesn't eat Kane, Golbez is not going to spell off. Alakazam taking the Luca key and going a different direction from all of her runners.
Yeah, gonna go see what potentially might be behind that door in Luca. Nice thing is, if it's not anything you can use, you can reset out of it without fighting the boss. So, a viable play. Might not be. I mean, with the tower checks that everyone else is doing,
it's not a bad play. It's a little more than a minute to go down. You check the item. As if you see it's not a key item, you can immediately reset because you're already done with your boss hunt.
Yeah, exactly. And then, with it not being a normally checked, if you find something that could potentially put you closer to go mode, that might be a check that your other runners might not do until later in the seed.
Especially if it's like the Legend Sword out of here and Coco's Forge Shop hits the lottery and has heroin robes.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be worth the payoff for sure.
Speaking of things worth the payoff, that Golbez is hard required. That is a darkness crystal.
Well, I mean, we just took Golbez's ride home, so I'm sure we're gonna see some of our runners start peeking Moon. Ooh.
That's awkward. You have to walk it out.
Yeah, that's too many key item checks to not.
Yeah, that's
not
like
do it.
You came down here, you found the pan, you have to walk it out. My question is, do you have a rune axe?
Alakazam also being our only runner who has not found that Fu yet, too. I don't think he's taken a look at the Eblin Cave or Eblin Castle trap chest yet.
He is not. That is not rune axe damage. A rune axe jump in this fight, so will be hitting for quad 9s or very, very close to it.
And especially in this spot, too. You want to be doing as much damage as you can, as fast as possible.
Lower battle being the Tower of Value.
Always a good seed when both of your checks in tower are coming up.
Also, We're at the 51-minute mark, and we are one key item away from go mode.
It was definitely nice. Once we saw about the 30-minute underground access, you can kind of see what direction the seed was going. Once again, power definitely making it so bosses that normally would make any seasoned runner shiver are just kind of getting smacked.
For this Asura, I would want to see either a wall on the Asura or someone getting a nice mute knife or rune axe plus event plus Excal and zerk them up.
Yeah, anything where you can out damage the potential Cure 3 heals. Ideally you're throwing some sort of wall on it, so any sort of Cure 4 or Cure 3 is getting bounced.
Honestly, if you do this fight, if you're anchored, you can just, with a Mage Slayer and an Excal, you can just when the Cure 3 gets cast Zerk on your one with the Mage Slaying weapon, and it will. The first swing from the Zerker will happen after the Life 1 cast, and Asura will never get a Cure 3 off.
See, that's good to know. And that's the important information to need in a set like Omnidex too, where you're opened up to more equipment-based strategies like that, because everyone can swing a mute knife. It looks like Scarster is going to do our Sheila 1 check. And coming up with a Masamune.
That's not a good weapon in this flag set.
Nope, especially with every weapon being able to be dual wielded, definitely takes away the impact of ninja swords in general.
Right, because ninja swords are balanced around being dual wielded.
And if there's one thing we don't like in this flag set, it's equipment balance.
And it is +3 agility. Sure. At Scarcer, since opening a treasury is an objective, we're going to go rate the treasury.
There we go.
And Herald Robe immediately. Herald Robe and a Dwarf Axe in case you break your anchor. That's a good treasury.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's about what you can ask for at this point. Herald Robe just going to absolutely turn whoever's wearing it into a monster.
Yeah, +15 strength, +15 agility, a ton of defense and evasion.
In a flag set where you can't really wear, if your admin armor is not available, you take the next best thing.
And J-Run just calling it discount admin armor, that's pretty accurate.
Oh, Lumera resetting out of the Frog Lady. It looks like we're going to see what the Sylph Cave trap chests have in store for us.
And Alex and Train are going to show us one of our memes with the magma key, why it's an objective. Well, that's gone.
You know, it's the nice thing about it, at least you don't have to sit through another cutscene with the mountain exploding again. And as Jabron's pointing out in chat, Tybalt is also taking on Ashura, having a little bit of an easier time than Alakazam was. Just the Fu with Nuke pulling in weight and equipment-wise, it's looking...
And I think that forum's got Silent Staff on, looking at her damage.
Yeah, I've looked at the animation. She was swinging the stick. Alakazam heading into Dwarf Castle looks like he's going to find his Sand Ruby soon, and hopefully he thinks to go check.
Hey, we know who all 7 characters are. So the 7 rolled are Kane, Edward, Yang, Palamporum, Rydia, and Fu.
I mean, not a bad lineup, especially with that Fu. Fu definitely making strides against everything, and Tybalt resetting out of the that Ashura fight.
Yeah, I think it started getting out of hand. Might want to just have Kane come in with swinging, might have Kane come in swinging Silence Avenger. Or Runex Avenger, that works too.
Whatever is going to get you that extra damage against mages.
They're both effective against mages. Pick one.
Yes, I'll take the big axe personally.
I like the way you think.
Unga Bunga mode activate.
Right, you don't Unga Bunga with stick, you Unga Bunga with big axe.
All right, we got Plumera awakening the big whale, about to make his way up towards the moon to go see what that has in store for us.
Question, where was the Adamant Rock?
That was, I think, the Mad Ogre chest no. Was it in,
Oh, it was in the hook route.
Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was in the Mad Ogre chest. I got it confused with the Excalibur we found in the Staleman chest. All right, Plumera going to go check on our favorite set of hair dryers from the looks of it.
And we have a Quake caster. One Quake will easily clear them.
Never hurts to have that little bit of extra experience before you start having to dive moon bosses and chests.
It's not just that. This is a K-trap. It's K-trap. This is a key item check.
Oh, absolutely.
And because of how K-trap fills, this chest is guaranteed to at least be in the key item pool. It may not have a key item, but it's guaranteed to be in the pool of key items. Any zone where there's only one trap, that trap is always weighted the same as K main.
Ah, that's good information. Defense sword. Certainly not a K item, but in normal circumstances, never a bad thing.
No, it's not. So stuff like the hair dryer's chest, the the last arm on the giant, as we're about to see Scarsor take.
And that'll definitely be stuff that you have to take into account as you're starting to run these flag sets.
And talking about that, if there's anyone out there who is interested in running this flag set, this will be our tournament flag set. Signups are open now.
Absolutely. It's shaping up to be a good one, just from the stuff that we're seeing in these community races and the stuff that people are starting to figure out in their practice runs. It's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
Plumeria finds a sparkling Cave Bahamut. This is an objective, so you're fighting whatever's here, and
That's a no-problem.
fortunately, we have the one thing that Ogopogo is weakest to in that Avenger.
And Kane just getting the work.
Okay, so totally just got to pass. That's pretty good because it's likely you're going to have to go to the moon and come back.
Right, and if you don't have to make that long run down, all the better. Especially if, for whatever reason you end up wiping on Z. Much easier to go back from Troya than it is to do that run.
And
it looks like
Z in this flag set especially is never free because with how much power you get offensively, the inclination is to just push as fast as you can. And sometimes you get a little over aggressive in your Z fights.
Indeed, it takes one bad roll of a Big Bang to really put a damper on your aspirations of finishing. It looks like Cave Bahamut not giving us much to work with.
It's not case summon. That was not a key item location. But you're going to see that fight taken often because it is an objective.
That's very true. So it looks like we got a Gungnir from hitting Yang with the pan. Let's see what Sheila 2 might have for us.
Yeah, Sheila 2 is a value here. Again, with no case summon, the whack is always just going to be an item.
Yeah, the item's the power shirt.
I don't hate a power shirt. That's a lot of strength.
That is. If there's one thing you can never have enough of, it is strength.
And I find once I get about 96 strength, that may have enough. And yes, I'm aware the stat goes up to 99, but 96 is a soft cap.
Yeah. At that point, yeah, the extra 3 would really just be pointless. Yeah, it is also a discount heroin robe when everybody can wear those. Absolutely.
But since heroin robes are hard to come by, I will take a plus 15 strength item wherever I can find it.
Oh, absolutely. And Plumera starting in on our trap chest on the moon. Let's see what our double warlock, double carry chest has for us.
You know, it'd be funny. Both the harp and the legend sword in the poison treasury.
Oh, I like the way you think. The runners might, if that ends up being true. Might not, if that ends up being true, but I like the way you think.
No, not being true. The runners might have words for me afterwards. More strength gear. I'm happy to see it.
And Tybalt stacking strength upon strength upon strength on that cane.
Yep, this way you can. It's a good idea if Kane's not strength capped. You just want that way you just have one actor going and hitting as hard as possible.
Yeah, especially with this, it's much easier to keep that one character alive and let him do 7,000-8,000 damage than try to keep up a whole party.
It's also minimizing the amount of animations you see, which this is still a race. Minimizing animations means you're shaving seconds off every fight.
Lumera taking on Odin up on the moon. And there goes Odin.
Odin's got a big stick for us.
It was nice when we saw that Excalibur. Definitely nice with that crystal sword.
Scars are taking on the Red Giants. I don't believe we saw Plumeria take these. As the name would imply, the Red Giants are giants. That Poison Axe is doing work.
No, I think he only has done the Warlock chest so far. And a glass helm for his effort.
Tybalt's going through the giant. Only going to find a package in here.
Yeah, it looks like Alakazam is beginning his ascent up on the hard required tower, starting his Golbez fight.
Plumeria, bypassing all the traps, looks like he wants to get to the safe point at the bottom first.
Never a bad idea, especially when you're this far down in the moon. Can definitely become a pain to have to run from all the way up.
Oh yeah, I see why Plumeria was running on fumes. Yeah, you get to the save point, heal up.
Yeah, especially with some of these nastier trap chests. You want to make sure you're in as tip-top shape as you possibly can be.
Right, I like just clearing until you start running out, until you run out of gas, then hit the save point.
Yeah, it definitely makes for far more efficient running. I personally like this Excalibur wielding Porum that we got going on Plumera's side, though.
You never put a very shiny stick in a small child's hands? This never goes wrong.
I mean, that's the plot of every JRPG I've ever played.
I thought you were going to say the plot of every anime you've watched too, which would also be true.
Alright, we got some Baron Inn guards here. Quickly taking out our Porum, who didn't get a chance to use a shiny stick, but a quick stone takes him out.
Rat tail, that's interesting.
That's potentially another key item.
You're one away from go mode. Do you save scum the rat tail?
It's a tough call because that's a long way to go for potentially not what you need when you have a few more accessible boss fights within close range of you.
I think I would personally rather save scum the rat tail and deal with this.
I was just
terrible.
And down goes Edward.
and down goes Forum.
That's right. As long as that Kane's up, really everything else is, inconsequential.
Looks like Tybalt is checking the poison treasury.
Here we go. Adamant Rock was in the Mad Ogre chest on the hook route. Yeah, the poison treasury is not a bad play. I mean, that's 6 trap chests back to back, and especially when you have a powered up Fu, it makes it pretty easy.
Looks like my dream of a hard required treasury are slowly getting dashed.
I mean, we got our hard required Golbez tower, so I guess we can't ask for too much.
A ribbon in the ribbon room. Is this even?
All right, so looks like we're gonna skip going to Masa.
We do have value in the poison treasury though. That's a legend sword.
Oh.
So we in the booth are in no mode. Is that our tracker pointing out the kind of humor of the one person who didn't find the Adamant Rock has the legend sword?
Oh, that's right. That's because that would be like the last chest I would ever think to check if I'm running, just because I'm through the hook route.
Again, it comes back to that whole idea of under K trap. Since that's a single trap in a zone, it is guaranteed to be in the key item pool.
Oh, very true. But hour 13 in, that would be the last place I could really think about. You know?
I was saying when you're going down there the first time.
Oh, absolutely. I always make it a point to check for sure. Because it's quick experience generally if you're hitting it early.
And since we know at least where Gomod is located, I would like to shout out, we do have a first place finisher off stream. Blurry 14 finished this seed at a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 50 seconds. So GG's to Flurry.
Absolutely, GG's. Everyone has dual weapons because our flag set, Radical Memers, includes the Omnidexterous flag. So every character can equip every weapon in both hands and all the armor.
So it looks like Tybalt did grab the Malgus chest, we just didn't see it. And Nirvana staff, no, we're looking for a Super Smith.
With all the possibilities, definitely not what you're looking for.
we we yeah, we walked into the Ford shop, as we were.
As one does. And it
As
looks
we
like
wanted to be.
and it looks like Alakazam is going to head back down to go take another crack at Ashura. Should have a much better time.
So Tybalt is missing. Well, it's actually K value. Has the Earth Crystal. If Tybalt has Magma Key, he's in Go mode. And I believe he has done that.
It looks like it. So we could be seeing one of our featured starting to make his way. Let's see what he does now.
Okay, I'd like to give a shout out to Alakazam here. Alakazam trainer hit the rope of shame coming out of that door and did pick up the chest afterwards. You're a good man, Alakazam trainer.
I mean, you're already down there, and I've done that more times than I care to count. And Plumera with the quick reset out of a wonderful DKC on the moon.
I think that quick reset was, oh no, I have the Avenger equipped. This is going to end very, very bad for me.
Yeah, DKC with free boss on does not appreciate it when you try to.
Swinging for 6k a shot, DKC only gets 2 or 3 waves at you anyway before you just kill through damage.
And not gonna be able to make it through the 3 waves. Gonna go right back at it though.
Honestly, this is fine to take with just with Excal Avenger or Crystal Avenger. You'll kill before, as long as you just need to kill a single cure 4, you'll kill before he kills you.
Yeah, it's very true. I also don't think it's a strat most people think about too when free boss is on. I think your first inclination is to let him do his thing.
Or that works. Nice low roll on Fusoya, letting him get that kill.
There you go. Hey, you just need one person up and alive to have it be a win, you know?
Scarsar got the Twin Harp off the moon, so that's going to be alternate Go mode.
And looked like he is going to get on that black chocobo and start making his way down. So that also means we get treated to music this seed too.
So it looks like we got a race on our hands between Scarsar and Tybalt on Restream.
It's definitely going to be coming down to who can find that last objective and get through that last objective the quickest now.
We have had another finisher off stream. Coffee and Chocobos finished in second with a time of 1:19.44.
GG's.
As we see the Paris screen here, Edward's coming in to save the party. I believe this is the time where we need to let our favorite bard take center stage.
And that is go mode for Scarcer.
I believe that was that Super Mario Bros. 3 credits? Yes, it was.
Now, poor Blake was in the way of go mode, and now he's gone.
Okay, a second adventure for the Z fight.
Hey, and always, if one is good, two is better.
And we've got levels, we've got offense, we've got healing. I think we've got ourselves a Z fight ready to go.
I say, yeah, at this point, I would be more than ready to be getting up there.
I don't know if Scarcer has the pass, so can just pop right back over to Troya and walk through the door.
And it looks like that is going to be just what he does, because we are heading into Troya.
So the great news for this tournament is the Zeromus fight is back. So we've got a whole bunch, 400 or 500 randomized Z sprites to choose from. Soon enough, Scarcer will use the crystal. But first, we need to ask a very important question. And Falgran, since this is your first time in the commentary booth, I believe the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to know, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
I like the setup here where you don't want Kane in slot 2 because you'll end up, if you come with the Avenger on, you'll end up mimicking the Crystal Throw, which will cause you counter nuke immediately. That's a good question. Whose butt are we kicking?
Does it have a butt?
Yeah, that shake was fast.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Well, Scarcer handled it.
Ooh, 9,000 damage from that Kane.
Oh, man, this is going to be...
Yeah, I don't think we care about much here. Just let Kane make Angry Dragoon noises.
I mean, it's worked wonders for this seed so far, so I don't see why we would change it the last second.
And Yang, with all the levels, doing a respectable 2,000 or 3,000 a swing to back him up.
Yeah, definitely. And the 4,000 HP will definitely help if, for whatever reason, you take a nasty Big Bang.
That was a great timing on the slow to nerf. I don't think there's Big Bang coming out though. I think we tipped.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we saw that Big Bang, but I've been wrong about that before.
No, Big Bang would have come out before this Cure 4 if it was about to, unless it's not nerfed.
No, he definitely tipped him.
Yep. Because of turn order, Porum's in slot 5, Fusoi's in 2. Zero must go between them.
It's basically Kane and Yang telling Z to politely stop doing that. And we see rocks.
This fight is over. There is no way Kane is not going to just drop him before another rock comes out.
And that's time for Scarcer.
And Scarcer finishing 3rd place overall in this race. There were 16 runners tonight. So 3rd place, fantastic.
Absolutely. And a very, very solid run overall.
And Guerin came in right behind Scarcer, 128.14.
GG to him as well. Alright, we have Alakazam doing a quick poison treasury check.
We know there's value here. And we are joined by our 3rd place finisher overall, first on Restream Scarcer. GG, Scarcer.
Yeah, GG.
I suppose I should unmute my headset. Thank you, GG.
Well played.
Yeah, we definitely all been there. Yeah, very well won.
Yeah, we may already be clipping that to add to the collection.
Good, good. That was a blast.
No, what were your thoughts on seed overall?
Yeah, dogs.
Earlier, the dogs had thoughts about the seed.
They sounded like they were fans.
Yeah, they're. Someone must be going home. They're excited. Sorry about that. Oh wow. Oh.
Okay, Scarcer will right back after calming down the Borks a little bit.
Oh, they've calmed down. There's no calming them down.
I was gonna say that one heard you.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were your overall thoughts on the seed? Definitely different from a lot of the tournament ones we've had before, especially from the EL.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I really enjoy Omnidextrous. It's there's so many memes. Like the flag set is all memes. Like my favorite flag is Restrict Yong, because you look at it, it's like, why would you restrict Yong? It's like, oh, so you're not stuck with him if he rolls. And also K-Trap is on, which means I get to go pet the doggo and get rewarded.
Yes, I believe you're one of the first ones that go up there and check the Flame Dog chest too, and obviously that paid off in spades. What was your thinking after you saw that?
Well, my thinking was Kane doesn't have enough HP for the hook route, so let's just clear the overworld anyway. But it meant I didn't have to like rush Eblin. If I struggled with Eblin at any point, I could have skipped it.
And what were the characters that you were fighting along your way for our distinct 7 influencing your decision at all. I know it was a little dicey looking until we found that sand ruby.
I don't think it affected my routing. No, it affected my routing a little bit. I took Dwarf Castle to try and get to Quake because I didn't look too closely at his spell list. I just noticed that I didn't see a Q.
I mean, fortunately, you got I think like a 1200 or 1300 HP nuke.
It was 1200 nuke.
Definitely much sooner than we normally anticipate seeing it on him
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, anything less than 1800 nuke is early. I felt a little punished for putting off the tower a little bit, but
I mean, especially if you obviously didn't have the tower key until you went in there, so nobody can blame you for that one. I'm all out of questions. I don't know if NG has any for you.
Just so you get the darkness. What's your thoughts on routing that moon? I didn't catch where you found the twin harp up there.
Twin Harp was debone and fossil.
Okay.
And it was it's top down because I think one key item from go mode after the tower. Yeah, I was one key item from go mode after the super cannon room. So it was just go find that one key item, do it. So, you check the last arm, check hair dryers, just like do the traps along the way. And I remembered that debone and fossil debone and warlock or
Warlock
the
and
one with
defossil.
Warlock and defossil. I just remember it's the easiest one in the game if you have a crystal sword, because you usually one shot the warlock and
You can't one-shot the defossil.
Can't one shot. So but you always two shot the defossil.
Thing's got exactly 10k HP, I believe.
Oh, I never knew that. That's kind of rude.
That was a good seed. GG. Big thanks to all of you for putting on the restream, for giving airtime to our memes.
Oh, it was our pleasure. It was it's a fun seed to watch for sure, and definitely going to get more so when the community starts figuring out the optimal route to go.
And since this is our upcoming tournament flag, what are your thoughts on the tournament as a whole that's coming up?
I'm excited. I'm ready to get knocked down around one of brackets. It's gonna be great.
I don't know. You run like this in brackets, I don't think you're out in the first round.
There's a little more pressure in brackets. It's easier to crack under pressure than without it. But I appreciate your confidence. Have a wonderful night, y'all.
You as well, and GG again.
GG.
So while we were having a discussion with Scar, so we did have 4 more finishes. Scythe Marshal finished at 132 flat. Then shortly after, Rybon at 132.11. Possum Morpheus 133.41. And Rito in 8th place at 135.16.
All right, GG's to everybody. It's very interesting to see how tightly grouped these finishes are becoming.
And this happens, I think you've got the first finisher was most likely I'm guessing Flurry found or did poison treasury and just never did dive the moon.
And Alakazam has pulled his crystal, and he is officially in go mode.
And we're going to see Alakazam, and with a bunch of levels from going on this walk.
Oh yeah, we should see
Likely
another.
Flying the whale over, so there's going to be there's going to be a slight disaster at Troy. It's a few houses get crushed by a whale.
Does it say bold choice?
Well, you have anything else to do? You may as well, not take an extra landing. Layover flights are not something I'm interested in doing.
I mean, honestly, if Free Enterprise has taught me anything, it's if you're going to do something, you might as well do it with style.
Exactly. It's a good life lesson in general. Note, please do not take life lessons from commentators on these races.
Oh yeah, please don't. We're not responsible for anything you may or may not do. All right, let's see how Alakazam is going to handle this Z fight.
And I'm guessing it's going to look very similar. You're going to see Kane getting angry. Rydia's only 42, so she's nowhere near Nuke.
All right, we have Tibble taking on the Demus down in Dwarf Castle, and we have Plumera turning in his forge as Alakazam begins his Z fight.
We know this Dwarf Castle will lead to go mode for Tybalt. Alakazam throwing the crystal, revealing Zrobus' true form, and we'll see how Alakazam handles this fight.
Got his Silk Web out. Kane survives a nuke. Plumera also getting his crystal and is in go mode.
Go and loot the treasure out. Find that Heron Robe immediately. I think that pause was realizing that Heron Robe's been available for a while.
Alright, Alakazam got that first Big Bang nuked and is well on his way to giving Z the beatdown he so deserves.
And the crystals in Tybalt's hand as well, so all three Respawn runners will be in his room at about the same time. With Alakazam having a bit of a head start. You want to be in the menu charging a spell now, with your, or at least in the item menu right.
Yep.
It's gonna be too late. Fortunately, the counter nuke went. Okay, Kane's going to drop to this big bang, assuming that was a real shake.
Yeah, this is where you definitely hope
Nope.
you. Ooh, all right.
It was tipped.
Yep.
There was again.
That's where you definitely hope you do enough damage.
The big bang would come out after Kane's swing if it hadn't been tipped. Now, tip outside, we have another meme going on. We have the Swagabo from Barren Forest.
Double swag because he also parked the whale near Troya.
Okay, Zormus, there are other counter nuke targets than Kane. This one's going to be a big bang, so Kane's getting dropped here.
All right. Now it's just a matter to see how Alakazam recovers.
Hopefully there was... You want to get a life pot on Kane as soon as possible, so Rydia should be throwing a life pot. Oh, we're in Rock's phase. Never mind. You need someone healed.
Yep, at this point, just start swinging.
You need to heal.
All right, Tibble
This is
starting
safe.
his fight.
Everyone's out of meteor range, so this should be safely finished.
And there's a shake. The good shake.
And the GG's Alakazam trainer.
Absolutely, well run.
Finishing in 10th place overall. We did a Fiery Blizzard finishing in 9th at a time of 1:40.25.
All right, and now we have Plumera starting his Z fight, so this is going to be a very close finish for our restream.
And we'll see if Alakazam trainer wants to join us. And with that ring, we are joined by Alakazam trainer. GG's.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG's, well run.
That was interesting.
So first thing I want to ask about, we saw you take a very large divergence from everyone else on Restream.
Really?
You got that hook and immediately went underground.
I kind of wondered that, but at the same time, I was like, I saw Hook, I didn't need Fable, I didn't need Ordeals, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, guys, what were your thoughts on just deciding to gun it down there?
Well, I generally fade Fable anyways, just because I didn't have Pan, and I was just gonna look for Pan instead. And Ordeals is just too long, so it's easier to just go down. I think I even skipped Eblin for a little bit too, just because I was already there. I was already going to go down and get the character, and I saw it was ready. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go.
I was going to ask you about that, because you were the last one to do Eblin Castle and get that Sand Ruby. How did you feel when you saw that Foo laying in that bed?
I didn't even see it.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see who was in Kaipo at all.
Well, that would have been a Foo.
Yeah, there was a mop waiting for you there. There's also a mop waiting on the Tower of Zot.
Oh. 2 places I didn't go. Oh well.
That's all right. You made do with what you had. That Yang was doing very well as a little support DPS, but your Kane was swinging.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's where Twin Harp was. Glad I didn't stick around. That was... But yeah, that was kind of a fun little race. Yeah, my cane was just like going. Also, yeah, that is sure a fight I don't regret.
So I have to ask though, it was a fun race. What are your overall thoughts on the seed?
I'm actually liking this flag set more and more. This particular seed though, it was good for actually pushing me to do better. I'm trying to do not go power overwhelming. Even though that cane was the very definition of it.
All right. Yeah.
I would agree. I think this flag set does get you to push your limits a bit.
Yeah.
So,
Good stuff.
do you plan on? Have you signed up for the tournament already? Do you plan on signing up?
I'm still debating, but it's probably getting more and more towards yes. I like this flag set. It's actually fun.
Well, we hope you do join us. With performance like that too. I mean, I would be very proud of that run.
Oh, I am. This is actually my second actual full seed. I'm kind of looking at where all the locations were over the items. I'm just kind of laughing at some of the ones I just obviously missed.
Oh, I don't have any other questions. NG, do you have any?
No, I've asked what I wanted to. So, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, thanks for restreaming, and that is all for me.
All right. Well, GG's once again. Very well run.
Thank you so much. And thank you again for hosting. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You too. Ooh. Lots of excitement while we were talking to Alakazam. Both our runners just finishing up their fights.
And we were joined by one of them. We were joined by Tybalt. GG, Tybalt.
GG's.
GG's. And
And
it looks like
Lumeria
also-
too. Let's just bring everyone in here.
it's a party. GG's, both of you.
That
Yeah.
seed.
So
Yeah.
I do have to first ask, what were your guys' general thoughts on the seed?
I was just wondering
I
what the
hate
key item
that.
for. The key items were just not showing up at all. And I'm like, okay, where's the key items? And then, Flurry finishes at 114. I'm like, what? Huh? Where are these, go mode items? This Magma Key or Twin Harp? And I figured near the end, it was like, it's got to be one of the long checks that you got to fight two bosses of both of them and have long cutscenes. Why do you do Dwarf Baron and Zot? It just doesn't make. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know.
It was certainly a variety of locations for those key items this go around.
And so you chose to fade. So you were faded dwarf until that point.
Yeah. Luca, you can spy and reset out if it's nothing, but with two bosses, Zot Baron and Dwarf, and cutscenes during them, those checks turn into like 3-4 minutes each, and it's just you don't want to spend that amount of time looking for one key item when you have so many more options available to you.
Yeah, Dwarf wasn't so bad. I did it early just because I skipped Edward, so I was hoping to pick up somebody else.
Okay, so that's what drove you in. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I mean, you already
but
had
then
the
I
full
couldn't
party.
find those trap chests.
Now, is there any particular thing you wanted to start looking for right away when you started the seed? Were you thinking you wanted to look for more characters, you wanted to get more item checks. How did you approach beginning the seed?
Just want some gear for Kane. Maybe do Evelyn super early. I almost got through that Mad Ogre chest the first time. So angry the Mad Ogre crit on me.
Yeah, for me, I'm just looking for any 2 weapons, basically. 3 or 4 are better, and then we can start working toward getting the trap chest done. Get a little XP on my white mage, and then we can start really clearing stuff.
Tybalt, I did see you take the sylph traps fairly early once you got in your underground route.
I had 10 key items. I had 10 key items and an RI1 Quake Foo. It's like, I can get the experience, get some levels on everybody, and have a lot faster time on the moon.
And it definitely paid off, too, with the item fight, too.
I know, Plumeria, I don't believe I saw you take the sylph traps as early.
No, I did. That was my very last thing for the legend sword there.
Yeah, was there any thought of just continuing to clear the moon while you're up there?
I got the Baron key out of the 3 carry warlock chest, and I said, yeah, that's probably the only key item up here.
Unfortunately, when you see the spoiler log, 1 chest up.
Yep. as the top chest in the group of 4. So, oh well.
Yeah, so what's going to burn me in this tournament is the fact that if 2 key items are somewhere on the moon in the trap chest, because those are trap chest locations I know very few are.
I'll be sure to post some links to some maps so that everybody can learn and remember where they are. Because knowing that is really helpful. Also knowing which fight is where. Like, if you want to put a Dragoon Lance or a Dragon Whip on for the dragons, it can be super useful.
Right, and you know which 3 fights you want to be fast anchored.
And you don't want to give those behemoths too many turns.
No, absolutely not. It definitely seems like you want to be able to plan, like you guys were saying, and key items and trap chest key items on the moon, not necessarily a common occurrence in these tournament flag sets.
Yeah, I mean, it's got pretty good odds to have 1 or 2 key items, but you generally don't need it. But I guess you can't really fade Sylph and the LSD. I think that's maybe too risky.
All depends on the key items that you're looking for, or how many you're looking for. In my mind, like if you're looking for like 1 or 2, and you've already cleared those except for Sylph, you're checking like the eyeball or the hair dryers, and then you start checking stuff on the moon. Like Sylph's your fate at that point, I think, in my eyes.
But yeah, that's all I have. Just wanted to say it was a well-run race by both of you guys. It was a pleasure to watch.
Oh, that was not a good run by me. I felt terrible that run.
I mean, I feel the same, but appreciate the GG.
Last occasion it comes for us all.
Yep. Rando gonna rando.
Yep.
So
I don't.
$140 for clearing how much of the seed? Still a very respectful time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have anything else on this. I just want to be done with it.
That's fair. Thank you both for allowing us to be restreamed. Couldn't put on the show without you.
No, I always love putting on shows. I decided the one meme I actually can do in this is bring the Chocobo from Baron.
We did call that out.
We did. I appreciate the whale parking and then doing the black chocobo. The double swag was very appreciated.
Well, yeah, like I don't want to get out and just go straight to Zod. I go right into Baron, and I'll just take the chocobo from Baron. It's fine. I don't have to worry about that. And it's like halfway there, like I gotta grab the chocobo. I left the whale there. I always enjoy watching these backs. Thank you, Falgren and Dave for doing the comments, and thanks to Aaron Lauren for putting this all together, and then the Bardic Panda doing all the button clicking.
Oh, well, thank you guys, and once again, GG to both of you.
Yeah, GG's.
Thanks a lot. GG's, everybody.
That'll be it for us here. Fantastic race. Great showing of a great preview for the upcoming event. We'd like to give one last shout out to our restream team, Aaron Lore for rolling this wonderful seed. Barty Panda for pushing all the buttons. 4-player K-Trap, K-Moon, it's rough. And a shout out to Falgran. Did a great job your first time on comms.
It was easy. I had a great co-commentator for sure. Thank you, Dave.
But while the race is done here, we are going to go go watch some more upcoming tournament flags with Morpheus running one of the open asyncs. It's async 5JZ YO0. So if you plan on running an async, you may want to tune out now. And a reminder, we do have the Tournament Preparation League tomorrow. I believe they are doing a potion after party, which is basically potion party with weaker flags.
Which is always fun.
But from us here, enjoy Morpheus' stream, everyone.
And have a good night.